One of our big focal points on this program, a little more than a decade back, our national animal, the tiger, seemed doomed. The numbers were plummeting and the future of Project Tiger uncertain. But now the tiger is back in a big way. The 33% increase in tiger numbers since the last tiger census gives us hope that the big cat is safe where it belongs.
12 years ago, India's national animal appeared to be headed for extinction. NDTV launched its Tigerthon to raise awareness, support and funds to reverse this impending ecological disaster.
I really want to thank you, Prerna, and NDTV and everyone that's connected with this program.
But today, the tiger population has more than doubled since that crisis year. All 20 tiger states have seen a rise except Chhattisgarh and Mizoram. Madhya Pradesh with 526 tigers has overtaken Karnataka as the state with the most. The government put the Wildlife Institute of India in charge to deliver a turnaround.
जो कहानी एक था टाइगर के साथ शुरू होकर टाइगर जिंदा है तक पहुंची है वो वहीं न रुके.
The horrific lynching of a tigress in Pilibhit shows there's a lot more to be done. The 5-year-old was in a protected zone and forest officials blamed villagers for intruding.
They've looked at 20 states in India that had tigers till 2005, 2008. We now see that 3 of these states in the northeast are without any tigers at all. So there's a problem then. How are you going to solve that problem?
The tiger is critical because it's an umbrella species which protects biodiversity. It needs forests to protect water security. And forests are also carbon sinks, and there's hope with both government and private campaigns working to one goal: to save the tiger.
All right, so what does this really mean for the tiger in India? Are these numbers enough for us to be certain that the tiger will not die out in India? Joining us now, two wonderful experts who I've spoken to about wildlife many times in the past. Anish Andheria, President of the Wildlife Conservation Trust, and Prerna Singh Bindra, wildlife conservationist and former member of the National Board for Wildlife, joining me from London. Anish, let me come to you. The numbers, firstly, 33% up from the last tiger census. Does this mean that the big cat is safe in India?
Yeah, I think India has done a credible job because we are 1.3 billion people, and tigers, we know, are found in 13 countries, but India has more than 70% of all tigers. So you have all the problems that you can think of because of overpopulation and the situation around land. Yet you have a large carnivore which instantly from across Africa, in South America, all these large carnivores have only slowly depleted. Whereas in India, lion, the tiger, the snow leopard, and even an elephant has done well. So I think India is a unique place, and I think the credit of this obviously goes to the forest department, but more importantly, it is because of the culture. I think the country's culture allows us to consider tigers and other wildlife as part of our own ecosystem. We don't think of them as outside. And most importantly, the unsung heroes, the watchers and the forest guards who are braving bad weather, mob attacks, wildlife attacks, and still doing their job. Today, I mean, last week you saw some gory pictures from Kaziranga. Most of the anti-poaching camps were inundated, but the forest staff never stopped vigil. And that is the spirit, which is why India is where it is. And I'm very proud to be, to play a small role in this success story.
Yeah, no, and the point you mentioned about forest guards is something which is completely, totally, 99.9% forgotten. You know, these are people who are trained but earn very little, who spend their lifetimes in the forest at dealing with poachers, dealing with threats, dealing with the danger of wild animals themselves, keeping an eye out for the tiger. We don't think enough about our forest guards. The fact that they're ill-equipped, the fact that on occasion till a few years back they didn't have proper boots, Thank you so much for raising that point, Anish, and people really need to know about it. Prerna, the downside of the report suggests that in the northeast, a couple of states which did have tigers don't have tigers now, so the overall numbers may be up, but are we perhaps missing some parts of the puzzle?
Hi Vishnu, and I would first like to say that I'm very happy to hear about the tiger figures, and I reiterate the point that Anish and you have made about our green army, which is unsung and protecting our tiger on the ground. It's not just the northeast, Vishnu. We miss a very critical tiger habitat, one of the most contiguous best forests of India, which is North Andhra Pradesh on to Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. This entire belt, which is incredible elephant and tiger forests, forgotten, out of focus, consistently showing a poor result. I mean, there's no focus there, there is no attention there, lot of infrastructure pressure, lot of pressure of mining. Besides, on our radar, when we think central India, we only think Kanha, Bandhavgarh, Tadoba. But what about Satkosia, Simlipal in Odisha? What about Chanakmar in Chhattisgarh? So these are places which have shown poor results consistently. Why aren't we focusing on them? Why aren't we thinking of tiger recovery? What is wrong over there? And so to me, that's the one downside. The other big downside that I see is that I see the report is excellent. The fact, I'm not commenting on I'm very happy about the numbers, but we can't afford a false sense of complacency. We have in the past 2 weeks, maybe a week, 3 bits of news. The lynching of the tigress in UP, the death of a tiger in Bandipur due to a road accident, news that we are letting circumventing law to allow for trains and railway tracks into the most sacrosanct of tiger habitats or key reserves, a road to Corbett Tiger Reserve. How do we say that we are committing ourselves when we are chipping away and fragmenting and destroying even the most, Corbett Tiger Reserve is where it was born. How do you
so let me bring Anish over here. Anish, the points that Prerna talks about, that in as much as we've protected the tiger in some parks, there are other large areas of the country which have been tiger territory but appear to be on the decline. Chhattisgarh, she's mentioned parts of Odisha as well. Does this have to do with actually being unable to physically monitor the number of tigers because of the Naxal threat in many of these areas, or is it also because of, or exclusively because of the dangers of mining, the danger or of policies locally not working?
See, there is no doubt that there are a lot of other ulterior interests at play in some of these areas, because if a country can go against the tide and get the tiger back from the brink of extinction, and in a big part of tiger habitat, which is Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, why is it that so many other states which are abutting these are not functioning well? The governance is an issue for sure, but I think there are other interests, as I said, and Prerna also made that point very clear, is that there are all these big infrastructure that is going to be planned in the future, linear infrastructure, mining, and all those things are right where our green capital or natural capital is. Now we must not lose sight of the fact that our economy is resting on the ecology of the nation. We cannot feed 1.3 billion people when river basins are dying. We cannot feed them when there is no good quality soil. Currently, if you see, climate change is playing a havoc. There is erratic monsoon all over the country. Lot of our good agricultural lands are drying. There are clouds out there, and so India is hit by a tsunami. So this tiger success.
All right, we seem to have lost that signal over there, but I think the points mentioned by Anish and Prerna are so very important that we've achieved success, but going forward we need to keep up this momentum. But nonetheless, 33% rise in tiger numbers since the last tiger census. Wonderful, wonderful news.